Disclaimer: if you somehow know who the subject of this video is, do not harass them. I'm not making this video to send a hate train to anyone or to bring attention to their accounts at all. But wait, Oliver, why are you talking about it then? I'll get to that. Deciding to become a content creator comes with a set of unspoken rules. You'll work yourself like a dog until you inevitably crash out. You'll become friends with another content creator who is outed as being a word I'm not sure I can say for monetization reasons. And, if you're an artist, someone will steal your work. It's unfortunately nothing new, but these are things you sign up for when you decide to pursue content creation. Okay, maybe that second thing is unlikely to happen, but what can I say? I've learned the odds aren't zero. For the most part, art thieves tend to be young kids or teens who haven't found an art style of their own yet, so they turn to tracing or copying the work of an artist they look up to. And every artist did this when they were younger. I did it, you did it, and if you didn't, yes you did, you're a liar. But because of that, I always tried to be kind and understanding whenever I come across someone's quote-unquote OCs that were clearly just a traced/recolored drawing I made. I've had a number of art thieves in the past, not to brag or anything, and every time I found one, I said something along the lines of, "Hi there, I don't mind people tracing or copying my art for the sake of learning, as long as they don't claim it as their own work and give me credit for the original drawing. I work hard at what I do and deserve to have my work credited." And without fail, every time I left a comment like this, the poster would delete the post and other posts they made that are like it. I think an approach like this is much more likely to get you good results because odds are they're a harmless 14-year-old who likes to draw but isn't confident in their skills. And while I don't exactly keep tabs on everyone who stole art from me, I'd like to think this approach also encouraged them not to give up on art, but to work harder at making their own original work, or at least give credit when credit is due. But what happens when one slips through the cracks? I'll be honest, I don't remember how I first discovered the subject of this video because it feels like he was always there. We'll call him Sam and refer to his online handle as Demon Sam, which is not me saying he's an evil demon from the deepest layer of hell or an advent of Satan or anything like that. His username had his name and the word demon in it, so it's a relevant fact, I promise. I remember someone on Instagram messaging me, telling me about Sam's account, and sending me some examples of his theft. I don't remember if I knew about this aspect of Sam before. All I remember is feeling overwhelmed by his account in a way that I never had with art thieves before. Firstly, he wasn't a kid. He was about the same age as me. Secondly, it was so much more than just art theft with Sam. The more I looked into his accounts, the more disturbed I felt. Partially because I recognized the username. I've had friendly interactions with Sam before. He was even a part of my Patreon. I treated him just like any other follower. But then I found the depths of what I'd soon find out was way more than just traced artwork. That's not to say there wasn't stolen art. In fact, it's the worst case of art theft I've ever had to deal with, and people have told me it's the worst case of art theft that they've ever seen. Like, ever. It felt like every drawing I'd make would get traced or copied by Sam. I'd make a drawing, and not soon after, Sam would post a copy. But it didn't really matter if it was my newest or my oldest drawings. Every post he made was something he took from me. Not even my NSFW art from Patreon was safe. Couldn't even draw my OC in a bunny costume blowing another OC without him drawing his Power World style ripoffs. Jumping ahead a bit, when I eventually posted about this, I mentioned I could have included more examples, and people were shocked because I already had so many of our posts side by side. I feel like the whole topic of art style theft is a bit of a touchy one, since some people feel like you can't steal an art style. But this still feels wrong, right? Sometimes two people can develop their own art completely independent from each other and still have similar styles. It happens. But this didn't feel like that. And a big reason it didn't feel like that is because it didn't stop with art. Our artist's signature was very similar. This is what my signature looked like, and this is what his signature looked like, except with his actual name. But it's the same sort of stylization. He drew a profile picture, similar to the one I had at the time. My username on everything is Oliver's Antics, so I thought it would be fun to change my display name on Twitter to Mr. Antics. Shortly after, he changed his to Mr. Demon. My pinned tweet was, "Drag shows are just gay LARPing sessions. Changed my mind," which, even though I don't use Twitter anymore, that's still a banger of a tweet if I do say so myself. Sam pinned the much less funny and not at all clever, "Cosplay is just a non-sexual way to get all dressed up up to make someone fall in love with you. Change my mind. He would title his YouTube video similar to mine. He would make thumbnails similar to mine. He copied my FAQ on my YouTube About tab and would use so many of the same materials as me. And look, I know I'm not the first person ever to make videos talking about my characters and their stories, and it would be really shitty of me to gatekeep art supplies, claiming I'm the only person in the world who's allowed to use them. But when you copy my characters, video titles, thumbnails, and even the oddly specific questions I used to answer in every one of those old videos.
Her birthday is August 13th. Does she prefer ice cream cake or cookie cake? Use a vine to describe her.
Questions off the top of my head. What's her zodiac sign? I don't want to do this, but does she prefer ice cream or cookie cake? Here's a vine that reminds me of her.
I'm going to question it when I make a video about a specific marker brand, and then suddenly you also own and love that same brand of markers. I felt like I couldn't even experiment with my art because the moment I'd try something, it would suddenly show up in his art. I've vented about this to a friend at some point. A friend, by the way, who I've known since I was 12 years old and went to school with, and they pointed out that even our handwriting was similar. I'm gonna be honest, at this point, I started to feel sick. Every time I'd see Sam's name, I'd think about how long this was going on for, and I had no idea. I'd think about how during a live stream, he tried to get me to say I was his platonic boyfriend, despite the fact I had no idea who he was. And the most interactions we've had was me replying to his comments sometimes. And when I ignored it, because that's weird as fuck, he made a tweet saying it's official because I didn't deny it. Experiencing something like this as a content creator is such a strange feeling. I can only vent about it to so many people because it's not something anybody in my personal life can relate to or even really give advice on. This is also definitely just my anxiety disorder talking, but I eventually got so in my head about it that even though it's something I've had literal panic attacks about before, those panic attacks didn't seem like real harm. Quick side note, it is real harm, and I've accepted that now, so don't worry. Deep down, I knew the only way to get Sam to stop was to confront him. But it's something I knew he'd give me trouble with because other people have confronted him about it. People who follow me, or at the very least know of me, would notice the similarities, to put it lightly, in our art, and they would bring it up to him, and he'd deny it. Every time. So for a while, I did nothing. I knew ignoring him wouldn't make him disappear, but the thought of doing anything about it filled me with so much anxiety that I felt paralyzed, both in fear and in motivation. Whenever I wanted to share a drawing I liked or had a fun idea for a video, I knew I had a man-made doppelganger waiting right around the corner, ready to take it to try and get one step closer to being me. At its best, it's extremely annoying to have someone copy every move you make, so you can imagine what it's like at its worst. Funnily enough, another content creator who I follow made a post about an experience they had with some severe art theft. Someone was copying the work of them and their friends who all had a YouTube channel together. And while it took some time, that post and all of the support it had gave me a little bit of courage about my situation with Sam. I'm not sure if this person wants the random spotlight on them, so we'll call them Tim. Tim and I were Twitter mutuals before I accepted that Twitter was awful and left, so I messaged them asking if they'd be down to talk about that experience that they had, and they said yes. So I explained my situation with Sam, from the art theft to the video theft to our signatures and our handwriting. And Tim's response can be summed up as, "Oh my god." Tim immediately was like, "This is not okay, and I am sorry you have to deal with this," and was just generally super cool to talk to. The advice they gave was what I already knew deep down, but hearing someone with a similar experience say it solidified in my brain as something I would do. I had to confront Sam. And it was gonna suck. A lot. But it's the only way he'll stop, and while it'll be stressful, I'll feel so much better after. So shout out to Tim! If you're watching this, and you know who you are, thank you, you were very kind. Talking with you really helps cheer me up, and it gave me the confidence I needed to finally message Sam. Not that much confidence though, because I still had a friend be on call with me when I messaged him. I said that an approach with kindness and understanding gets you a better outcome, and I still stand by that. Still, I knew I had to be assertive or nothing would get done. I'm gonna start this message by saying this has been a long time coming. A number of people have messaged me privately about your account, as well as commenting on your posts directly, but I never gained the courage to talk to you about anything. Thinking about this has given me so much stress and anxiety, but I know it's something I need to do. So I'm just gonna say it. Stop with all the mimicry. For my art style, to my characters, to the products I use, to my thumbnail style for videos, even down to my signature, there's so much you copy. I don't want this message to be aggressive. but at the same time, I need to be honest. It's really creepy and uncomfortable. Every time I catch a glimpse of one of your posts, a large wave of unease washes over me. A part of me was hoping it would stop on its own, and that if I just bore with it and acted like it wasn't happening anytime I interacted with a comment of yours, you'll eventually stop. But as time goes by, it only seems to get worse. You make ripoffs of my characters, you steal ideas, you stole my style, you even stole the About page on my channel. I can go on and on about all the things that you take from me, and the fact that I can say that really upsets me. Once I looked through your accounts and saw the extent of your imitation, I was so uncomfortable I felt physically ill. Again, I don't want to come off as aggressive, but I also need to be honest. This isn't me asking. I need you to stop. I won't accept this is just a coincidence. You can't steal an art style, you can't police the products you use, or any other excuse like that. Adding everything together, it's just plain personality absorption, and it's incredibly unnerving. I never want anyone to give up on art. I just want you to use your own voice instead of stealing mine. Create your own style, make your own characters, share your own personality. There's only so much I can put up with, and if I'm being honest, I've reached my limit long ago. This needs to stop. I remember writing that message, keeping my fingers crossed it would be enough to end it all there. But of course, nothing with Sam would be that simple. I'm going to do my best to read his messages, but they're also pretty poorly written, so sorry if I mess up a bit. Okay, I'm done explaining this to people. Don't want to be rude or anything, because I understand that, but I'm not copying your style. If anything, I'm trying my best so people can stop saying that my style looks like I'm just tracing or just trying to copy you, but my style comes from many artists I've seen before you, and I don't understand how my style looks like I'm copying yours at all. I mean no harm, but I call BS on it all, and it just pisses me off getting a message like this. Sorry. It pisses you off? It pisses you off? You? It pisses you off. Sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to piss you off, mister. I don't understand how my style looks like I'm copying yours at all. Like I said in the past, I've traced and took the easy way, not doing anything myself, learning new ways in stylizing clothing, body types, shapes of the head, anything, but I've worked on all the things that you've seen on my account, myself learning new techniques and all. I'm sorry, these messages are so hard to read. Learning new techniques and all just as you would. You can call BS on all that. I'm saying you can go as far as to block me, but I have respect for your art. Hell, I admire it so much, I hope to someday be as good as you. Even better. Like that's gonna happen, lulz. From adult to an adult, I am way past like tracing people's artwork for views, and my signature has been the way I've done since 2020, but I can change it up. Oh boy. I know this isn't the point of this video, but why do people put themselves down thinking it'll make the person they're trying to compliment feel better? Oh, I admire your art so much. I wish I could be as good as you, but that'll never happen because I suck. You're a big brain master artist, and I'm just a dumb baby who's so bad that I have to trace my work, which pisses me off because then people say I'm tracing. Clearly it was not gonna go down without a fight. I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't buy that at all. I've seen followers of mine take inspiration from my art before, but it always feels like their own. Like they take a part of my style and they interpret it in their own way. When I look at your, all I see is a copy. Yeah, I think at this point I started getting typos because I was a little nervous. And it's not just the style. Like I said, your characters, your thumbnails for videos, yeah, no, I was definitely nervous at this point. The materials you use, even your profile picture is uncomfortably similar to my old one. Putting all of the people who've messaged me about your account in the past, and the people who have commented on your post themselves, I talked about you very vaguely in my friends only story on Instagram. I didn't mention any names, show any of your drawings, or shown any of my art/OCs that you've copied. A friend of mine was able to identify exactly who I was talking about in minutes. It's not just me, it's really hard for anyone to look at your work and not see a copy. And it goes further than just art. Look at our Twitter accounts side by side. I changed my name here to Mr. Antics, and you changed yours to Mr. Demon not long after. Look at our pinned tweets side by side. I watched your videos, and you copied my greeting, the way I started digital speed paints, even my 3 traditional questions from all of my character videos, even down to the titles. I'm not buying that it's not intentional, that you're trying to make your art seem different from mine, or anything like that. I'll say this one more time. I don't mean to be aggressive, but I need to be honest. This is creepy, and it needs to stop. Sam replies. And that's actually why now I'm working on those things, because the things you have seen look similar to yours, but now I saw that for myself and I'm changing them so there's no mishaps. And even my avatar for my profile picture, I'm changing those into my own way though, so there's no similarities, and the video thumbnails were some ideas, but I'm changing too. And I don't know if now there's still some similarities, but I can say those were from my own ideas and thought process. It was clear to both me and my friend at this point that Sam was just gonna say anything to get me to draw drop the conversation. He went from, I don't get how art is similar at all, and I was influenced by tons of artists before you, to, I noticed our art was similar, so I've been trying to change mine up. I'll say it one more time, I don't believe that. These are all things you've apparently been working on, then it's one hell of a coincidence. So it's pretty much impossible for me to chalk it up to just that. Someone replied to one of your posts just the other day, and you immediately denied it, followed by another tweet with even more denial. Even in that post, the art you made to show how you don't think our art looks similar, all I see is a copy of my style. And I'm gonna be real with you, this shit has taken such a toll on me mentally. I was gonna wait until I finished my Pride video. This is the video in question. But it's gotten to the point where I can't even focus on my work. You say you've been trying to change your art to be different from mine, but your new art looks just as copied and stolen as your old traced work. If you were genuinely trying to change your art to be different from mine, that wouldn't happen. And another thing I just realized, you keep saying I noticed art looks similar, so I've been trying to change it. And also saying I don't see how my art looks like Oliver's, and these are all my own ideas. Yo, that's what I was saying! Past me was on the same wavelength as present day me. This just makes it that much harder to believe that you're not intentionally copying / coming up with your own ideas / you've been working on your art / any other excuse you've given me. And then Sam says, because I don't see it at all. And you can believe whatever you want, you king, but I know when my ideas don't come from my mind, so okay, Oliver, believe what you believe. I'm tired of explaining myself to you and other people. Honestly, I do me, you do you. My final message to Sam reads, here's the thing. You're not doing you. And if you're tired of explaining yourself to me and others, imagine how I feel seeing your account. I'm so exhausted from all of this and I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm going to refund you for June's Patreon, but I'm blocking you on all platforms. If you seriously don't see a problem with what you're doing, I have no idea what else to tell you because everybody else sees the problem crystal clear. I can't deal with this anymore. The last thing I wanted to do was to make posts about this. While there have been times in my past where I talk about more serious topics, people generally come to my accounts to have a fun time with art. But after encouragement from my friend and remembering Tim's advice that sometimes it's necessary, I blocked Sam on everything and made my posts. And everyone's response can be summed up as, oh my god. I immediately felt so much better seeing everyone's support for me and hearing people say that not only was Sam's art theft the worst they've ever seen, but also acknowledging that it was so much more than that. And seeing that really had me questioning why I didn't do this sooner. Then I remembered all the anxiety and panic attacks I had at just the thought about dealing with this, and suddenly everything checked out. To everyone who supported me when this whole thing was going down, thank you. And with your support, Sam deleted his posts, and then said he was taking a break from social media. This all happened in 2022, and since then I haven't had to deal with Sam trying to absorb my entire existence through his phone screen. So I talk about it now. Well, that's because the story's not over. Some years passed and I left both Twitter and Instagram for AI-related reasons, and in comes Bluesky, an account I've had for years because I got approved to use the invite-only beta, then never used it until everything else went to shit. I've been enjoying posting my art there, and everyone has been super nice and chill. I'll log on for a few minutes, like and reply to some comments about my art, close it, and then repeat later in the day when I take a break from work. And when looking at one post, I noticed a comment that I already liked came from a familiar username. Demon Sam. I immediately blocked him, and by immediately I mean I unliked his comment first and then blocked him because I'm petty, and the anxiety I felt those years before started to come back. A few days after it happened, it was still in my mind, so I decided to check his other accounts. I'll be honest, I don't remember what came of his Twitter and Instagram, but his YouTube is what's most interesting. Remember when YouTube added the feature of adding a channel like you can do on other social media sites? I'll be honest, I never look at those because I forget it's a thing, but looking at Sam's YouTube channel, he mentioned me. Many times, in fact. The first time he mentioned me is in a video he posted from 2024 where he's calling himself out. Don't let this make you think he's changed though, because in the description he says, hate comments are welcome. And you know, out of everyone in this situation, I think I deserve to leave one hate comment as a treat. So let's go give him a piece of my oh, the comments are turned off. Sick. That video was posted in 2024, and since then he'd go on to @my channel 4 more times. Once to reiterate what I'm assuming he said in his self-callout video because I didn't watch it, and 2 more that have absolutely nothing to do with me and are just random art videos of his. In the years I've had him blocked, he must have gotten bottom surgery because that takes balls. Not only that, but as recently as February of 2026, he sent an email to my email that I use for my commissions. Hey. Now I know this is a commission email, and I feel horrible for using it inappropriately or holding up any space. If you feel horrible doing this, then don't do it. You know, just a thought. But I need to apologize correctly for what I've done in a mature manner. But maybe selfish, sorry again. I couldn't really apologize in any other way, because I didn't want to bother you, and also you have me blocked on everything, you know? That was a little bit of editorializing. Even sending this email makes me anxious and feel bad for wasting your time, but I'm just gonna go ahead and stop pulling teeth. I was a butt when I was 19. He was at least 20 at the time. Also, sorry, I was an butt when I was 19. I've done so pretty immature things. Tracing your artwork and using it as my own is one out of the many other things I've done. Doing so just never helped me. I didn't have my own personality, and it's very clearly now from how I act. I see in the few years he also hasn't improved his grammar. And yes, I did get impression from you to make a YouTube channel in the first place. I'm not sure why I can never admit that now. As a 24-year-old man, I feel very stupid. I do miss watching your videos and actually being a fan and not a nemesis. Sounds like I'm trying to be pitiful, but now I've looked at many things I've done wrong. I have gotten rid of most sketchbooks with the traced art, and I'm currently destroying one I have still, and another one I'm not really sure where that is or if I want to go searching, but just to reassure you, if I can even do that, I don't redraw or use any of those sketchbooks anymore. I found different texts to do my own art, just to stop copying your stuff because it was wrong in the first place. I just need to stop being so arrogant and immature. Do actually figure that shit out. And I'm sorry if the last message from me you've seen was, you do you and I'll do me. I'm sure, but it's been eating me alive even after I did it. Yes, I could have stopped being a jerk and apologized to you. Yes, it would have been fine to admit that I trace your art. I don't think it would necessarily be fine, but I guess I get what you're trying to say. No, I didn't do it for reference. I was trying to take your art style and make it my own, and we both know I would never been able to do so. I'm sorry for being such a jerk and childish man-child to you. You have every right to still hold a grudge against me. P.S. This isn't the end of the email, by the way. Not the right place to put a P.S. I would love to see his essays from school. And yes, I did start feeling bad after getting called out by you and your supports. But mostly now I feel bad because I'm now drawing in a style where I feel like I've put my own in that someday what I've done to you may come back to bite me, and it would be well deserved. And I just want to make this email to apologize formally, if you can call whatever this is that. I hope this email finds you well, and I wish nothing but the best. Oh, it found me alright. Find me well, that's a different story. A couple of things about this letter. One, he said he felt bad not because what he did was a bad thing to do, but instead because he got called out. Not only that, but he also said he mostly feels bad because what he did might come to bite him in the ass, not because of any sort of impact his actions might have had on me. And also, he talked a lot about art theft, but does not mention anything else. He mentions that he was inspired by me to make a YouTube channel, and he mentioned that copying art was one of many things that he did, but there was no acknowledgement of copying my signature, copying my entire Twitter account, copying my entire YouTube account, the weird comments that he made to me, like trying to get me to say we were platonic boyfriends, or calling me sweetie when I said thank you to him. Yes, art theft is something that he did wrong, but it is only one of the things that he did wrong. And the fact that he is making that the entire focus shows that he really did just miss the point of everything. Truth be told, this email is the reason I wanted to make this video. Sure, it'd be nice if this video can inspire someone to confront someone like this in a similar situation they have, just like watching Tim inspired me. But there's a message I want to get across to Sam. Fun fact, you can't actually block certain people from following you on YouTube, so there's a good chance Sam will see this. Sometimes you fuck up. And yes, people can change. People can grow from their mistakes, and I think people are deserving of forgiveness. At the same time, that forgiveness isn't owed. And when your past behavior gets to a certain point, you will always be the villain in somebody else's story. A part of that growth is learning to accept that. Sometimes the best thing you can do to help someone move on from the way that you treated them is to leave them alone. It's me. I'm talking about me. I want you to leave me alone. I don't even want to know if you watch this video and are going to decide to leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Because the truth is, I don't care what art techniques you've learned or how many of your old sketchbooks you've destroyed. I just want to share my art and my videos without feeling like you're lurking, watching my every move. So leave me alone. I mean it. And to all of my followers, thank you for not being a Sam. Unless your name is Sam, in which case I'm sure you're very lovely, but thank you for not being this particular Sam. I already mentioned it before, but anybody who was supportive of me when I first started posting about this in 2022, thank you. Also, after writing the script for this video and in the middle of me recording the audio, it made me remember that I actually went to high school with a girl named Sam, who was very lovely, and was very nice to me. So if you're seeing this, if it's not you, don't worry, you're cool. You're cool, you're chill. But yeah, I know this video is a little bit different from what I typically make. If you want me to make more of these like story time, quote unquote, type videos, then let me know. Feel free to follow me on that Bluesky account that I mentioned. If you are interested in becoming a part of that Patreon that I also mentioned, both of those will be in the description box below. If you're interested in reading the comic that I am filming pages of for this video, you'll never guess where those links are. And yeah, shout out to Tim, you know who you are. Shout out to my friend who sat with me while I was talking to Sam, you know who you are. And Sam, fuck off. I'll see you all in my next video, except for you, Sam. Bye.